And when the people that had worked all day saw that they received the same wage as those who had only worked an hour, were not happy. And they said, "These last worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat." I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about Patsy Harrison. Patsy Harrison was the kind of member of a congregation that pastors would love to have many more of. Patsy Harrison was a member of my first congregation, Redeemer Lutheran Church in Kannapolis, North Carolina. And she had a husband named Larry and 2 children, Jeffrey and Laurie. And they were an outstanding family in that church. Patsy was special. She was at everything. She came to church with her family every Sunday, no matter what. Even when we had 12 inches of snow one winter, and the roads were virtually shut down because North Carolina only has 1 snowplow, and they have to share that. And she was at church. She and her family had walked to be at worship. She was on church council. She taught Sunday school. Anytime there was a work day, it didn't make any difference what kind of work day it was. She was there with her work clothes on, ready to do whatever had to be done. And every now and then, we'd get a lot of heavy rain, and the basement at the church where Sunday school was would leak. And she would come and make sure it was cleaned up and ready for Sunday school, no matter what. Like I said, she's on church council, served on any committee that you ask her to. And she even came to me when I first started there, and she says, "Pastor Grunke, I don't know what kind of pastor you're going to be, but I'm on your side, no matter what. I'm all for the pastor, good, bad, or indifferent. I've got your back." And she did. She was a wonderful, wonderful member of Redeemer Lutheran Church. Well, we had our council meetings at 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoons, kind of like we do here. And we had them in the fellowship hall. And we had them in the kitchen of the fellowship hall. And in order to get to the kitchen of the fellowship hall, you had to come in the side door, kind of like these, and walk all the way across the fellowship hall to get to the kitchen where we had our council meeting. Well, one Sunday afternoon, about 5 minutes to 5, I walked in the side door of the fellowship hall, and I heard Patsy. She was really upset. She was raising holy Cain about something. I messed up at the early service and said hail. Was raising holy Cain about something. She was just going on and on and on and on and on about blah, 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 blah. She was mad as all get out. I'd never heard Patsy like that before, that upset before. So I walk into the council meeting. I said, "Patsy, what are you so upset about?" She looked at me and she says, "Did you not see what happened before church this morning?" I was afraid to answer. I said, "What happened, Patsy?" She said, "This couple with 2 children, about my same age as my 2 children, they never, ever come to church. They don't come to Sunday school. They never served on any committee. And when they do come to church, it may be Christmas or it may be Easter. They do nothing. And you should have seen the way the members just gushed all over them. They were hugging them and kissing them and saying, 'Oh, we miss you so much. Oh, where have you been? It's so good to see you.' And it made me sick." She said, "Pastor Grunke, I don't like to hear my name said like that. I'm here every week. I serve on every committee. I'm on the church council. I clean up the basement when it's flooded. And not once has anybody gushed over me on Sunday morning and said, "It's so good to see you at church, Patsy. It's just not fair." Her response to what happened on Sunday morning was absolutely perfectly normal for any human being on this earth. I didn't say it was right. I said it was perfectly normal. This gospel lesson that we have before us today is one of a multitude of controversial gospel lessons that really get our blood boiling. And I don't know why Jesus does this to us. Look at the prodigal son, that parable. Who of you, if you had a child and you gave him or her the inheritance that she was due or he was due, and they'd go out and spend all that money on some hussy somewhere, drinking up alcohol, carrying on and throwing it away, and then comes back and say, "Oh, I would love to be back with you, Daddy. I'd love to have some more money," and all this kind of stuff. And then to see Daddy give them a ring, a robe, a reception, and a fatted calf, who among us would not be irritated about that? If you wouldn't be irritated about that, I would like for you to adopt me.